Hello, beautiful people, and thanks so much for watching us here on the Great Day, Louisiana. I'm Malik Mingo. As always, I hope you all are doing well today. As always, we have a great show for you all. We're beginning with a conversation about gambling. Listen, many of us like to play the lotto every once in a while, or maybe head over to the casino. But what if you have a gambling problem, or maybe you know someone with one? Whichever the case, did you know that there's an app that can help? And the best part, it's all free. It's called eVibe. Here with more on this resource is Dr. Rochelle Dunham, the Executive and Medical Director for MHSD, and Gambling Program Monitor, Megan Dunham. No relation, but they work together. Good to see you all.
Hey, good to see you.
Thanks so much for coming on to talk about this. And you know, I don't have a gambling addiction, but I'm always trying to understand why people get one, right? Because let's be honest here, if you go gambling, sometimes you're winning, sometimes you're losing. What are they chasing, Dr. Dunham, if they are losing like they're winning as well?
Yeah, you know, so one of the things that we have to realize is that gambling is under the umbrella of an addictive disorder. So what is the commonality there? The commonality is that it is a brain disorder that cues into our excitatory system, just like eating a good meal, sex, any of that will stimulate that excitatory system. It does it, but it does it to an abnormal degree. The dopaminergic release is so excessive. And then there's what we call cue responding, which can trigger you just because of the associated memories with the event. Now, the reality is addiction is about illogical thinking too. The psychological part of this is very much has to do with illogical thinking. So no, it doesn't make sense to you that a person would continue to go, continue to lose, continue to get in debt, and still go back again. And in their minds, that win is still there, so I gotta keep chasing it, right? The next time I go, this is illogical, the next time I go, that's gonna be it, I'm gonna hit the jackpot.
And it's not always like that, and that's why it's important to first look at yourself. Think about when you go to the casino, when you play the lotto, do I sound like that? And you may have a gambling addiction. And what's so great about MHSD is congrats on this partnership with eVibe. Megan, tell us all about it.
eVibe is a wonderful confidential support app that's found right there on your phone. It's accessible 24/7. It really meets people exactly where they are. And that's one of the things I love about it, because it's 24/7, like I said, it's on your phone, and it has so many self-help options. There's modules, there's different educational pieces, even podcasts.
Really?
It's so cool and so accessible. And it reaches individuals who may want to learn more about gambling, may want to curb their gambling or control it. And it's also available for people who want to quit gambling altogether. So it's a really good resource.
And it's completely free, like we mentioned, and it's available on your App Store, your Google Play Store, whatever you have, you can download it. And it's confidential.
It's confidential as well. It's really between you and the app. Now, we do have extra services at MHSD where they can actually come in and speak with the person, but on that app it's confidential. No one is going to know what happens with the app interactions.
What is your best tip though? Because for some people, it sounds like you have to choose to download the app and use the resources, but some people, they don't want to do it. They don't want to look at the podcast or listen to the podcast. What is your best tip on having them keep with it?
Well, I would love to say that it's very empowering to choose to either learn more about gambling or control gambling, or even finding gambling as a challenge. It's empowering to take that next step, so just to see how you like it. So I really encourage people to, if they have that thought, to just go with it.
And it's well designed too. I downloaded it this morning just to see how it works. I'm like, okay, I see what they are doing. And you know, look, to the people out there who maybe don't have an iPhone or Android, they don't have access to an app store. Like you mentioned, there are some services available at MHSD besides this new free app. You can go and talk to somebody.
Absolutely. We do have within our repertoire of services, and in the addiction lineage, we do have gambling treatment services. We have gambling professionals on site. So if you prefer to come into our clinics, we have 5 clinics across New Orleans, St. Bernard, Plaquemines. You prefer to come in, walk in, you prefer to call, we do it through telehealth. You don't have to come in. There's so many ways that you can get assistance. This is not something that you should be suffering in silence alone, which is what most people do. The reason why the phone is so great is because it's very personal. It's you and the phone, and so you can do all of that with that device, as well as control this condition that is really controlling you.
It's so powerful. And what have people who maybe have a gambling addiction said about the app that you all have recommended it to?
Yes, it's actually wonderful. Some people have said that it really helped them understand and create goal setting when it came to gambling. Some people decided that they can actually create it and share it with their loved ones as well. So they would download it for them, but then pass it on to someone else. And one thing about those great services at MHSD is that you can do both. You can be engaged in services and you can have that app on your phone.
And it's free.
And
Yes,
it's free.
And it is absolutely
It's
free. You
free.
have nothing to lose but every single thing to gain. But you
That's
know,
right.
I was talking to Dr. Dunham and Megan before we got started, and I'm watching a show right now where one of the characters is dealing with alcohol addiction.
Yeah.
They say when it comes to addiction, you need to know your triggers. So for people
Yeah.
out there who are suffering from this addiction,
Yeah.
who are trying to get right, what is your
Yeah.
advice on knowing your triggers, and if they have a relapse for some reason, how to get over that?
Yeah, and the way we categorize it is you got to understand the people, the places, and the things, because the triggers fall in one of those categories, and you got to understand how those things are associated for you. So the recommendation for relapse prevention is to avoid familiar things that are associated with the abuse behavior. So if this is the bar you drink at, you can't go in that bar and not take a drink. If these are the people you hung out with, you can't hang out with those people.
If it's the casino that you go to.
You can't go to that casino. In fact, anything that has the bells and the whistles and all of that stuff, those things trigger you to want to do that act that brought you what you thought was joy. And it is joy momentarily, but you pay sometimes a lifetime price for it.
Absolutely. At the end of the
Yeah.
day, we want all of you all to have a conversation with yourselves. Think about where you all are, and if you need the help, know that it is available. Ladies, thank y'all so much for being here. So well dressed as always. And look, if you want more information about the eVibe app and more on the help available through Metropolitan Human Services District, log on to mhsdla.org or call the 504 number on your screen. All right, that was so interesting. And look, we're just getting started on the show today, beautiful people. There's a great way to save for your child's education expenses like college and more. Certified financial planner Mike Tari is hanging out in our LCMC Health Wellness Lounge right now with all the details. He will join us with the details, rather, coming up after the break. Plus, I want to remind you all that now is a great time to head over to the New Orleans Museum of Art. Did you know that every Wednesday from noon until 7, general admission is free for Louisiana residents? You heard me. That's all thanks to the Hellis Foundation's Art for All initiative. For more information, log on to NOMA.org or head over to NOMA in City Park. All right, stick with us, everybody. We'll be right back with more Great Day Louisiana.